Amid the storm, a shipwreck and a secret. It was supposed to be a routine cargo run, 72 nautical miles off the coast of Maine. The ship, the Marigold, was carrying standard freight, canned goods, machinery, and spare marine parts. But at 2:43 a.m., something went wrong. The distress call came through the Coast Guard radio. "This is Marigold. We've lost power, taking on water fast. Mayday. Coordinates." Then static, no follow-up, no flares. By dawn, all that remained was a slick of oil, some floating crates, and an eerie silence. When rescue teams arrived, they expected to find survivors. Instead, they found something else entirely, a discovery that would unravel a decades-long secret buried beneath the waves. By the end of this story, you'll understand how a routine voyage became a deadly cover-up, why one man refused to stay silent, and how the truth resurfaced years after everyone had stopped looking. The Marigold was captained by Elias Warren, 49, a veteran sailor with over 25 years of experience. His crew of 5 were mostly locals. Mark Dalton, the first mate, known for his meticulous logbooks. Rachel Vega, the ship's radio operator, one of the few women in the fleet. Tommy Reeves, a deckhand, just 19 years old, on his first deep-sea voyage. Henry Collins, the ship's engineer, quiet, reliable, and close friends with the captain. And Jonas Pike, a marine consultant supposedly there to inspect cargo procedures. But as investigators would later learn, Jonas Pike's real reason for being on board had little to do with shipping safety and everything to do with what the Marigold was carrying. Weather reports showed rough seas building around midnight. Winds were clocking 60 knots. Waves were cresting over 20 feet. Still, Captain Warren had sailed through worse. He radioed in at 11:47 p.m., confirming they were maintaining course. Then came the distress call, recorded and archived by the Coast Guard. "Marigold here. Engines out. Waters rising in compartment 2. Requesting immediate assist." Click. Static. No screams, no chaos, just abrupt silence. The Coast Guard mobilized immediately. Helicopters, rescue boats, sonar. By 4:10 a.m., they reached the coordinates. No ship, only debris. And something strange, the debris was scattered too far apart for a vessel that sized to have gone down in one spot. It was as if the Marigold had exploded. When the official investigation started, things didn't add up. The ship's emergency beacon never activated. Its lifeboats were missing, yet no bodies were ever recovered. Even more puzzling, the cargo manifest listed only mechanical parts, but a private manifest, found weeks later, told a different story. It included 8 sealed steel containers, labeled only as departmental property, government transit. Those crates were being transported under a federal contract, and when pressed for details, the shipping company said it was classified. That's when the case shifted from a maritime accident to a federal mystery. 3 weeks after the shipwreck, Rachel Vega's brother, Miguel Vega, received a letter in the mail. No return address, postmarked from Bangor, Maine. Inside was a single sheet of waterproof paper with one line written in Rachel's handwriting. "If something happens to me, tell them to check the hull." Forensic experts confirmed the writing matched hers. But how was it mailed after the ship went down? Miguel brought it to the investigators, who dismissed it as a cruel hoax. He didn't buy it, so he started digging. He found out that Rachel had been texting friends before departure, saying she was nervous about something Jonas loaded aboard. She mentioned overhearing Captain Warren arguing with Jonas the night before they left port. The phrase she used? He said it wasn't supposed to be part of the shipment. 2 months later, a private salvage diver named Leo Harlan began searching for the Marigold on commission from an insurance company. He found the wreck, but what he discovered sent chills through investigators. The ship wasn't torn apart by the storm. It had blast marks, scorched metal, and melted framework. The damage came from inside the hull. Leo's underwater footage showed that compartment 2, where the crew had reported flooding, was the origin point of the explosion. And inside that compartment, divers found remnants of a steel crate, partially melted, stamped with faint markings. P Division, do not open. When the footage went public, the government denied any connection. But then, journalists uncovered a historical paper trail. The P Division had been a short-lived Cold War research branch shut down in the 1970s for illegal biological testing. Whatever the Marigold was carrying wasn't just cargo. In 2019, 17 years after the ship vanished, an anonymous email reached journalist Lena Caro, a maritime investigator known for exposing cover-ups. The sender claimed to be a former logistics officer for the same shipping company. He included documents showing that the Marigold's real cargo was part of Project Pelican, a covert government operation transporting sensitive material to a private research island off the coast. The officer claimed the shipment contained biochemical prototypes, experimental compound from the 1970s being relocated for decommission. He also claimed that Jonas Pike, the marine consultant, was actually a government handler overseeing the transfer. But according to the documents, there were two handlers on board. The second name was redacted. Lena tracked down an old Coast Guard technician who'd worked the night of the Marigold's distress call. He revealed something stunning. There was a second transmission received at 2:45 a.m., 2 minutes after the first one cut off. It was buried in the archives, flagged as unverified interference. But when they cleaned the audio, they heard it clearly. They're opening it. God help us. Then a sharp metallic clang, followed by a muffled roar. The text said he was told to delete the file. He didn't. That audio clip later aired on national television. And within a week, the government reclassified the Marigold's entire case file. In 2022, divers returned to the wreck with new technology. Inside the remains of the control room, they found something unexpected, a sealed waterproof case still intact. Inside was a rusted USB drive and a handwritten logbook belonging to First Mate Mark Dalton. His final entry read, "Jonas says they're making us scapegoats. The captain's refusing. The storm's getting worse, but it's not the waves I'm afraid of. He said if we tell anyone what's inside the crates, it'll never see daylight." Rachel's crying. "I hear something moving in the hold. We didn't open anything, did we?" The handwriting trailed off mid-sentence. After years of speculation, a new documentary aired detailing the ship's disappearance, calling it the cover-up at sea. It presented three possible theories. Government experiment gone wrong. The crates held unstable biological materials that detonated mid-storm. Sabotage. One of the handlers triggered the explosion to destroy evidence of the illegal transport. Survival theory. Some believe at least 2 crew members escaped, and one of them mailed Rachel's letter. None of the theories could be proven. No bodies were ever recovered. No official statement was ever made. But in Pine Harbor, every year on the anniversary of the wreck, locals say they can still hear faint radio static on old maritime frequencies and a single repeating word. Hell, it's been over 2 decades since the Marigold vanished beneath the waves. A ship with a secret cargo, a crew that knew too much, and a storm that might not have been the only force trying to sink it. So now the question is yours. Thought Balloon, what do you think really happened aboard the Marigold that night? Was it sabotage? A government experiment gone wrong? Or something far more sinister, forever buried beneath the ocean's surface?